What's going on YouTube? It's your buddy Will from the What's Up in the Sky 37 channel, online www.whatsupinthesky.com. It has been a while. I think this is probably the longest time I haven't uploaded a video for a while. So proof of life for my buddies who thought I might have been kidnapped from NASA. Definitely not. Just been really busy. Those of you who know what's going on, I'm gonna make a What's Up in the Skies news here soon and tell you all everything that's been going on in my life and all that good stuff. If you watched my channel in the past, if you haven't, there's about 700 videos you can go back and watch to have anomalies and just me inviting you into my life in general. So I promised you guys a good one, and here it is. I tell you, this one took me a while to make. I've tried to make this video about 5 times, probably even more than that, where it's going to be a long one. So you guys who are used to liking the long ones, sit back, relax. I've even put little arrows on this one. We're looking at a mosaic I created here. Um, this is 48 images. I've also put it on Gigapan, and it is just filled with anomalies. You're going to be able to see everything from foundation to ripped up. If you've never watched my video before, I believe that Mars definitely had a civilization on it one time. Not sure how technical they were, but they at least were as technical as our ancestors here on Earth, which I think are definitely were much more technologically advanced than we give them credit for. Some of the anomalies on here have been in other videos of mine, just because usually I do one frame at a time. And this I just wanted to do. It just had so much in one thing. We're at Saw 1448, and I'm going to show you how I got to this part here. Basically, if you come here, I'm going to link these Gigapans so you guys can get in here. I mean, Gigapan's awesome. You can get in here, check all this stuff out, add a snapshot, things like that. I've got 2 versions of it I've made. Everybody from Neville Thompson to Keith Laney have done this one as well. But you're going to find 100 times more things that I'm just going to show you today. And what I did was here, I got this from the PDS. I just got it from the Analyst Notebook. This is a way that you can access some of the PDS files through basically the school does it. They work in conjunction. I think it's Arizona University. I forget which one it is, but it's wustl.edu. All these will be linked at the bottom so you can see it. Here, what's kind of neat about this, if you guys never used the PDS on here before, you can see the mosaics from the different days. And you just click this button here and you put in the number you want for the saw. And basically, I downloaded all the high resolution pictures from here in .image, basically the raw data that came from the Rover. When you click on it, this is just the like I said, this is clicked down from the mosaic. But what I did was download all these images right here and created this on my computer. So I could have used their version, but what I use even gets more, quality out of it. So let me go ahead, since this is such a huge file, this will be linked at the bottom. All you do is hit more information and we'll get back to that. I'm going to go ahead and close Chrome here, and we're going to just clean the memory real quick just so this thing runs a little bit faster. And I can't wait to show you guys some of this stuff. So let's go back to that box and some of these stuff. We'll start here with the first anomaly I showed you. Basically, what I'm seeing here is just rubble that's come down the hill. Right now, they're calling these buttes. This was, I think, they're the Murray buttes they called these things. But obviously, to me, they look like just rubble that was, you can even see the perfectness of this. I mean, look at the square here that you've got. Here, I remember one of my buddies on here said, when we see a John, I'll know that it's real. Well, this looks like the the toilet seat, and of course, somebody will come around and put that on top of that, and this will end up in a video somewhere. Toilet seat found on Mars, like they love to do to my videos and everybody else's. But let's come back here and take a look at some of this stuff. It's amazing the rubble, how well this one is, was actually saved. you're looking at stuff that's not strata here. Somebody's going to say, oh, that's a bunch of strata here, there. You got some really neat parts where you can see where the road or whatever it was laid out, the straight lines here. You can see where the rubble has come down, parts of it. The colors change in it. What I've done here, here's how it came from. Like if I take out all of the colors, this is how it came directly from NASA in the PDS system. If you get these files from the website, the NASA website .gov, it's not going to look as crisp as this. So I always suggest learning how to use the PDS system or just watching these videos or going to the, Neville's, Keith's, Todd's from if you go to whatsupinthesky.com, there's a whole list of them on there. We have a whole thread. I think it's probably 100, 200 pages long of killer, just awesome gigapans. Um, so we'll start out here at the bottom. Things that look like staircases carved into them. As like I showed you before here, you've got these long, whatever pieces of either building, you're looking at building material, you're looking at floors, something that base of it here, really cool stuff going on. And you got to remember here, this is 48 pictures put together. This is a pretty huge file to give you some sort of scale. Um, I mean, when you look out at the whole thing, you're gonna see this is like the size of a house, basically, maybe even a little bit bigger than the size of a house. Depends on where you live and what kind of houses you have around you. You get some really neat, just, I mean, look at this, the symmetry in this stuff that looks like it used to be metal. This to me doesn't just look like rock. This looks like this stuff was underwater. It went through all of the whatever happened on Mars, whether it was impacted by another planet, whether an asteroid took it out, whether the people that live there ended up doing this to themselves, or just time took its toll, like it's taken its toll on our planet many times in the past. But you get all these really cool, I mean, the symmetry in these. If you cut this piece right down the middle, this piece right here is interesting. But I mean, we're not even getting near some of the stuff that we've got going on here. Let's see, let me turn that down. That was I bet you half of you guys with the apples just went and looked for it. Now, of course, somebody's say, hey, look, there was a head looking thing right there. That stuff, to me now, I'm trying not to look for that anymore. Now I'm looking for stuff that's just as plain to see. Stuff like this that looks like it was part of a gate. I mean, look at this piece that comes up and comes down straight, almost like this is an opening. Um, and part of the rocks or part of the wall here has been pushed out and pushed over. And you can see it as it's come down. But look at the piece here as it comes up, comes around the corner. Thinks I'm talking to Siri. Good old Apple phones. Here we go. But beautiful. I mean, comes up around the. I don't even want to say what I think I said. Oh my. Anyway, let's get back to this here. See, this is what I'm talking about. Every time I try and make this video, it's like something has happened. Somebody calls. It's I'm not stopping this time. We're gonna check this thing out together as we roll through it. Let's just keep on rocking and rolling. Here, more what looks like wall pieces. The sand in it, and you could tell that it was definitely underwater at some time. This is the area that's at the bottom. As we started moving up through this, through this area, we would see. I mean, curiosity was just blowing by some of these amazing ruins. Um, you've got what look like statues, things like that, and I could see some of this just could be simple rocks. A lot of people are going to say that or see this and not, in their head, they're not going to be able to notice it. But look at some of well, just check this out. It actually, you can still see some of the art in this one too. It's a very, the civilization that was there was very artistic, I think, in the way that they carved their buildings. They just just like here on Earth, you can go to any continent and find amazing artwork, amazing buildings, stonework, places that we were never taught in school, especially here in the United States. Um, we only learned about basically in high school level. You only learned about Egypt and a couple other places. The Mayans down there, some of the pyramids. And I'm 37, so we never got to really learn about a lot of the cool stuff and stuff that's been found since then as well. Um, so let's just keep on moving right along here. Moving right along in search of good times and good news. I pointed at this too because this was a really good idea. You could see the contrast in the colors here that look to be painted. I look to be still have whatever color here and still has some of the circles and the pieces. But see the pinkness to this one. But then you've got right next to it something that's gray. It's a very interesting piece. And like I said, this is going to be a long one. There's a lot to show you guys. So I'm definitely going to put together one of those videos for the people who like them short, where I just flip through some of this stuff, maybe with some music, maybe with some talking. But see how this stuff just all just conglomerated together here, it congealed after whatever happened here. And the more and more I look at Mars and I go through stuff, I, I I think whatever happened, especially around Gale Crater, Mount Sharp, it was hot. It was definitely hot. It heated everything up. The water came in, washed a lot of sand around, moved a lot of this debris um, all over the place. This is beautiful here. Check that out. The lines. I'm sure you guys can see so much more, and I invite you to go to the Gigapans. Please check the Gigapans out. Uh, Snapshot them if you have an account with Gigapan, but you don't need an account with Gigapan to actually use the to view the pictures and things like that. If you want to snapshot it, I think you do need it. Once again, you've got more perfect 90-degree angles. That's where I love you know, the angles, the circles, things that are more, that look almost perfect, that survived. Those are the things that really interest me, especially after doing this for 700 or so videos now. I mean, it's we've seen everything from back when I first started. I first started on things that looked like they were, other people's finds, and a lot of these were, people have found. Now there's so many people eyeing these things up. I don't know who found what anymore, and there's always a lot of infighting sometimes within our groups and things like that about who found what and when. And to be honest with you, the way I see it, the rover found these things, and we're just really honestly blessed to we get the chance to take a look at this stuff, especially in the quality that we can even get the PDS versions of it, because when you get the versions from the actual websites, they're horrible. They're JPEGs. They've got all these the JPEG artifacts on them and things like that. If you don't know what a JPEG artifact is, that gives it that grainy, like really when you really go in tight. So even here, when you really go in tight, it's still real sharp, especially with the PDS system. Um, that's just how it is. It comes down as the dot image files. So check some of this out. Let me pull out a little bit and see where I want to go next, because there's a whole lot of stuff up at the top. And let me pause this for 1 second while I cough. Let me see. Had to get a little sip of my water there and keep on moving right along here. More and more debris, as you can see it. And what's neat about it is this definitely isn't strata, where you see a lot of places here in the United States. I'm sure around the world you can go like to the Grand Canyon and places like that. And you can see how the different layers of rock come out, and nothing like you see here on Mars. I mean, some places you can, but this area right here, especially this whole Muri buttes, what they're calling them. They're absolutely gorgeous. They come along this way. More and more symmetry. The tops of things pointing down here. Pieces in there. Check that out. How interesting that is. You get the sand that comes up. Just sitting still on top of it. Things that look like they were connected. That's why I always wonder in my mind how much technology they actually had. How did they create these types of things? Let's see. Do, 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 do. Okay. We're going to work ourselves from left to right now. There's some really, really amazing stuff still on that right side that I should have gone to first, but I know you guys who have made it this far will stick with me. Yeah, I miss making videos. Like I said, it's sometimes hard to get back into the swing of things. I know we've been so busy here with work in general. My mom's doing okay. She's had a lot of skin cancer taken off of her with the Mohs surgery, so I've had to help a lot there. Like I said, you guys who follow my channel, most of you guys were up to date on a lot of that. Check that out right there. Look at the. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Look at the boxiness of it. Comes up on an angle. Looks like it's got a lid on it too. Same thing. Here you've got more and more just pieces of artwork, buildings, things along that nature, just sitting here. Blocks that fell down. Remember when I first turned this on the video and it had that part that looked like it had part of wall? This is what's, I feel has come down and is sitting. This used to be part of the top of the wall or the building, whatever these structures were. And these could be from miles away. Water picks stuff up and just takes it with it. Look at this amazing thing here. You got this pointing out, just sticking out, whatever that is. You've got pieces of it up here where it's two pieces symmetrically right next to each other, running perfect with it down. Um, you guys are gonna have fun with this one, I'm telling you. Especially if you've never tried the Gigapans, this is the one to go click more info and hit the Gigapans. This one right here, it's got another one of those circles. Once again, you've got two perfect looking straight lines where at the top of it there's even more. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, to me, this is one of the ones that I had to do. It's like it was huge, and I didn't want to just break it up into one picture, because we've got a couple of these in one picture. You're going to notice as we get closer and closer. Here, I think I was pointing at the artsy part of here, and you've got more blocks and squares. Look at the look at the spacing between things. Um, like here, you got 1, 2, 3. I can make that a little bit. See, that's when it starts getting a little bit blurry. At least for me, on my screen, I've got a 27-inch iMac that I run all these from. I got a couple monitors around me. I've got the beta software testing, so right now a couple of my monitors aren't working. I'm waiting on display. Now, here was some of the cool stuff started up at the top. Here's where I probably should have started anyway. Like I said, I've tried this video about 7 times and I'm never happy with it, but this one's going up. It's time to get rid of this one, give it to you guys, and then just keep on going. There's so much stuff out there. Okay, check out this. I mean, you've got two what look like eyepieces, a mouthpiece, something. And I usually don't talk about things that look like heads, but this looks like something that would come. If I probably came and told you and I showed you this picture and said it was, hey, look what I found back here on when I was on vacation down in Mexico. We stumbled on some things we thought were ruins. What do you think? And take a look at this stuff, and you can see even what still looks to be artwork. To me, it looks like artwork. The way it's cut, the way it sits out. Um, you've got rods, things that stick up and out of here, pieces like over here. And I'm missing so much. Like I said, I could sit here. This could be probably a 10-hour video. This is as good as the Rock Nest area. These places were. Just the other side of this, where the rover got later and took some pictures of, are just as amazing. Let's see as I come back. And as it goes up more and more here and climbs it, beautiful stuff. And once again, symmetry. The symmetry to me is like the best. One, two, three, especially when it's perfectly spaced out. That's when I start thinking, okay, natural? No, intelligent design. You've got rods, piping, whatever it is. Like I said, that's where it comes in. Let your imagination. Sometimes you really got to step back and let your imagination go on these things, because we've been told that our whole lives that Mars was just a cold, dead planet. Why otherwise would we think so? I see this stuff automatically, you know, in my head, it starts going. Now here, see how here is just kind of like a little bit more blurry? This one picture right here just happened to be not as good as the rest. So that's about, a little bit of the resolution that you lose. But up here, definitely you can start seeing where the things took a beating, but you can still see some of the artwork and stuff on top. It's definitely just been pushed over. Perfect squares, what looked to be pieces on top of it. Look at that. Cut through, pieced out like that. Up at the top, I mean, more and more where you've got pieces like that. Check that out. More what looks like tubing that runs up through here. So how sophisticated were the Martians, or were us? The more and more I look at this stuff, the more and more I think it's us. Maybe part of our heritage, because they sure did build like us. Like I said, this stuff reminds me of the megalithic structures here on Earth, and the more and more we find of them, it's just amazing what we're coming up with. Check this one out. Okay, another perfect 90-degree angle of what looks to be piping of some sort, or railing, something along the lines, of this was either some sort of temple, some sort of house, something where somebody gathered. It was built up obviously at some point. Um, let's follow this on down and see what we find out. Sometimes I don't even know the arrows come. I got a lot of these arrows just from the snapshots that you guys did too, because I put this out on Gigapan probably a couple months ago when I first did it. And like I said, I put 2 or 3 different versions out just to have it so it would be, it would look a little bit different in each one, but you're still getting the same effect. It's just the way that I've white balanced it is different. You're still going to get the same resolution. Check that out. That straight piece down through it. It's beautiful. Now we're coming up on some of the pieces that look like they're right out of Pumapunku, and my phone's just going off tilt. Like I said, every time I try and make these videos, um, more and more, more and more go down. Check this out around the corner, up to the top. We're coming up on the piece that we had here before, chunked out. And see how it's done in chunks, but once again, you get that symmetry, that 1, 2, 3, and even this one right here has like dots and circles in the middle of it. It's ornate. It's either ornate or it was used for a purpose. Something was anchored there. It was piece of the building. Once again, you have some more of this here, but this comes down. Check that out right there. That's amazing. What do we got going on here? Let's see. Pretty cool. and it just still keeps on going. Like it never quits. Uh, this is cool down here too. This is where it looks like you actually had some fascia are still left on it, and this is where you can still see it. Check this out. This in here. See how it's covering up some of the what looks like construction behind it. Here you get it still. Like you know how the pyramids were supposedly they were had limestone, like the big bright white, the three pyramids in Giza. They had that bright white look to it, but it's long gone now. The limestone or whatever it was that it was surrounded by. Check this one out right here. This comes up. You can tell something scratched the heck out of this, and then you've got a hole right there in the middle of it that makes this whole piece look hollow, like it was dug out for a reason. Pieces that come out and just hang out over. Now this was the one up here at the top that was really cool. This is, like I said, more of that stuff that just looks like it was. This is what made its way down to the bottom and was either washed away or put out. You've got more of it up here. You can see behind it what looks to be, build up, build up, build up, build up. So you come up here eventually. You've got pieces that look, like I said, this looks like a battery of some sort of battery, but like somewhere where somebody could take a position or sit at. And I should back off here in a second just to show you guys the size that we're looking at. But we're getting to this. I had done a whole video just on this piece right here. I think I named it strongest. Look how strong this little piece is right here, whatever it is. It reminds me of metal. I mean, this must either be light as can be, or this is just totally strong. I mean, it comes really, really thin right there to be holding that piece still up to this day. Um, and who knows, they still get windstorms and things like that on Mars. We haven't seen many of them here at the Gale Crater, at least not through our, we've seen them through opportunity and spirit. But here you're going to start getting even more and more cooler artifacts. Here you've actually got what look to be inlays and things like that. That looks like a white piece of a jewel or something along those lines. You get more symmetry where this is rounded off, that piece right here. See how it's rounded off? It's just falling down. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better picture. Um, and I stitched this all together with just software that came directly from Gigapan. Actually, I used their stitching software, Auto Stitch, and I had to convert the image files. That could be a pain sometimes, but once you get the hang out of it, once you get the hang of it, it's fairly easy. So I invite you guys to try, to go and do that. Here, this is definitely cool. This is let me back out a little bit, give you a little perspective here. Once again of the distances. You got once again a perfectly square piece right there. Okay. Coming off of these pieces, once again, these are all squared out. But at the bottom, you've got something that comes down and around, and these are growing up towards it. Whatever these pieces are, whether wind did it or they were part of an ornate statue or part of something. You looks like you've got some sheet metal here. I mean, look at that, how that's broken out. I've loved this one. Like I said, I've tried to do this video so many times. I just haven't been. I get into it and it just gets so overwhelming with how much is here. I finally just said, I'm getting through it tonight, and then I'm handing it over to you guys and say, enjoy. Back behind here, even more symmetry. And the whole other side of this thing, like I said, and once you get into that, especially if you use the analyst notebook, which is going to be linked down below, um, you can really get into checking some of these things out where you can look at the mosaics without even going to Gigapan directly from NASA. They're not the scientific ones. They say they're not scientific. They use PNG files to put them together, but they're much better than what's on their website, I must say. This looks to be a whole nother material under there. Once again, you've got, looks like supporting, beams, something that's supporting things. Used to support something here at one time. Let's keep on moving. Hopefully you guys aren't getting sick. Once again, we look like we're building up a wall. Check that out. Looks like something you would see a wall somewhere in Turkey, somewhere in Bolivia, somewhere in China, somewhere in Egypt. There's so many places around our world. I feel that every time I look at this stuff, I feel a connection to it. Like, call me crazy, but I've always, especially as I've moved along in this field, you see it and feel it even more. This piece over here was cool. I think this will be one of the snapshots. I always go on our website, like if you check the website out, the articles that I make with these, I always take some of my favorite shots and just put them in there bigger so you can click on it and open it up. This looked like just some sort of staff to me that at one time was probably straight up and down um, with these pieces that would have just be gorgeous, you know. So let's see what else we've got here. More pieces that looks to have slits in them. And how would Mother Nature taking out two slices of within the middle, that looks like it's done with machinery. You know, to me it does. Let's go back up to the top. We were looking at this. This, like I said, looks like wall to me, and it just keeps on going over here. We'll follow it down, and then it hits here. Let's keep on going down a little bit and check out some of these pieces. More and more. Check that piece out. We go all the way over to the side. More what looks like supporting pieces. And to me, this just looks like a different type of material. Like we're looking at stuff that came from various parts. Um, and just like here on Earth, that's how a lot of our stuff was built. They've mixed metal in with the stuff, with the rivets that hold some stones together. They use alloys that they were making at the time. Like I said, we're so we don't even know our own history here on Earth, and it's so hard to just speculate. Which everything I do here is speculation. Um, this could totally just be rocks. Like I said, I see what I see, you see what you see. I always put that in the beginning of my videos for a reason because, like I said, everybody's had different experiences. Everybody's seen life differently. Um, Luckily, I've had a lot of chances to get out to a lot of our parks here on Earth. I've been out to Arizona, I've been to Sedona, I've been all over the place. Skyline Drive here uh, I'm over by Ocean City, Maryland, but close enough. It's about a 3.5 hour drive, 4 hour drive from DC, and it's some of the most beautiful mountains you can drive around. And you can see rock formations, and then you can see the rock walls that they built. And the rock walls look more like this stuff. So, I mean, look here. It looks like you've got another layer. So I would believe that if you know we meticulously took a sand and blew all the sand out from here, we would see that these are actual pieces that go back. I mean, these are levels, maybe even terracing, like we've got all over the place. Where it's interesting, guys, ladies. The more and more we search, the more and more that comes back, the more and more we find. Check this right here. This is what I love about the when you get 48 images that are crystal clear together, you can actually see when you've got little pieces that look like they were, this looks to me like little circles that were somehow put together. That looks ornate to me. You know, might not look ornate to you, but like I said, to each their own. I love it if you guys below would comment on this and definitely check out the Gigapans and enjoy it, and the website too, because the websites, like I said, there's so much stuff over there that's gonna have. Here's some more, that have looked at these. Once again, you've got more of the what looks like that fascia stuff that was up at the top that's fallen down. It's got the holes in it. Through the holes, you can see the there we go. You can see the sun coming through, so you can see that it actually is there. And what we got here, this piece looks like a bell piece. I call that the bell piece. But if you cut it right down the middle and you fold it over, it's symmetrical. And it just happened to be that way. And once again, you've got a whole different looking color to these rocks here. At least there's two different material. How close to the edge are we here? We're right on the edge. So let's come back and see what else there is here that I wanted to show you guys before we let you go. More of the, look, this piece right here alone, just look at more of the, like when I first showed you when we came on, the perfect curves. Another piece that comes up and down the side of it has a bevel that's the perfect same size all the way down. It looks like art to me, and it could have been way at the top when it started. Um, and here, more of what looks like the fascia stuff that was up at the top at one time. Oh, here we go. Can't forget these. Here, I think we actually have some saved pieces of it that are still put onto it. I mean, that's interesting to me. For some reason, even in the dark parts, let me pull it down to how it came from NASA. You could really see it change in there. I don't think that might, probably not art, but it looks like whatever was used to keep the fascia on it. Let's see. Back over to here again. We're getting back to where we started. There's just so much on this image, and I know I didn't do justice to it at all. There's so much I didn't get a chance to show you guys. Like I said, the article will be on the website. Another piece here where you see the what looks like perfectly straight, boxed out, perfectly spaced pieces. Now, I don't know if this thing was flipped over sideways, who knows, but it looks like it's come down the mountain or it came from somewhere else, but wherever else it was beautiful. It was badass. Here's where we started, on this little piece that looked like the entry walkway, where we get our our box with the toilet lid, with the John lid. Up here, you even get a little bit of the. Let me take these off so you can see. You get a little bit of that once again, where it stuff flows directly with it. It's a beautiful shot. I really hope you guys go check it out. It's been a while. How long did I keep this video into? It's been, like I said, I haven't made a video in a while. 39 minutes. It's probably going to take forever to upload. I've noticed my upload speeds have been horrible lately too, so it's even harder to get these things uploaded. But we're going to get back to space news here soon. I'm finally getting to where I can have some time on the weeknights, the weekends to get you guys some more stuff. Like I said, I've got almost 25,000 subscribers now, and for everybody that stayed with me, I love every single one of you guys. It's been awesome. I definitely have not given up on the channel. NASA did not take me away. Oh, I've even found more. Look at that right there, even more what looks like cabling. All right, guys, I could be here for all night. This could be a 2-hour video. I want you to comment below. Let me know what you guys think about it. Um, and once again, I don't even know what to call this video, but let me pull out so you can see the whole thing just take it all in, and much love to you and yours. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, whenever you get a chance to see this. I think this has got to be up around Mars video um, 700 something, not necessarily just Mars, but I'm way well into 700 videos. So if you haven't seen all my videos in the past, there are a lot of good anomalies that we have done before. So even when I'm not getting out the videos, definitely go check out the old ones. Check out the website. There's some really good people that post there. You are welcome there. There's nobody going to make fun of you. There's no trolling, nothing like that. Much love to you and yours. I hope you guys are doing well, and take care. As always, peace.